Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you this homemade or semi-homemade clamp, long clamp, that I've made out of these Strong Hand brand of clamps that I use. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Austin Ross. I've been a welder for about 15 years. And here on this channel, I just share stuff I've learned over the years or that I'm constantly learning on a daily basis about the welding industry. So thank you for being here. We're glad to have you. We hope you enjoy the video. Also, check out our online store, arosswelding.com. In this video, I'm actually going to be talking about how I cut these circles right here for this clamp, and I actually used this circle burner. We carry this in the Aross Welding store, so just wanted to let you know about it in case you were new to the channel. So growing up, I'd done concrete work. My grandpa, my dad's dad, had his own concrete business, and that's what I did every summer. Me and my brother and my cousins, that's what we did for work every summer, was concrete work. And our grandpa always used to tell us to improvise. So that's played a big role in my adult life and my welding business. Out and about on a job somewhere, whether you're out and about and can't go buy a tool, or if you're home and you're just trying to save money, improvising is a super awesome way to get by and save money and lots of things. By the way, that's the same grandpa that used to tell us grandkids every Sunday after church to learn something every day. So that's where that saying comes from that I say at the end of all my videos. So obviously my grandpa was a huge inspiration to me and taught me a lot growing up. So that's actually why I made this clamp, was because I was home, I needed a long clamp, and this Strong Hand brand actually makes a long clamp, which is super handy, but I didn't want to go buy one. I was at home here. I can't remember for the life of me what project I was working on. I've been racking my brains before I filmed this video, but not that it matters. I'm just curious. I'm like, why did I build that? So anyway, I needed it here at the shop, and I needed it that day to accomplish whatever I was accomplishing. So I just found some old pipe that I had, and I made this long clamp. So just to brief you on how I made this long clamp, I took the bottom part of the Strong Hand clamp off, and some of these clamps you can take these off and some of them you can't, but like here, it's got a little tab that lets you slide it on, but it won't come off unless you push this tab down. And then you can slide this off and you can turn it around. I think that's part of the reason they do it. So then you can use your clamp in a different way there, the opposite way. But I just took and cut a hole big enough on one side of my piece of pipe to fit this whole piece through. And then on the other side, I just cut it big enough for this smallest piece. That way this part of my clamp wouldn't go all the way through. So it'll stop so I can do that and it won't fall all the way down. And then on this other end, this clamp was originally, I don't remember if I already said it or not, but this piece of pipe was originally like twice as long, whatever I was working on. I needed it to be pretty long, but I used it again here recently, and I cut it down because it was too long. So I done that on one end, and then on the other end, I just took and cut a circle out with this circle burner that I was talking about at the beginning of this video. That's how I cut my circles out here at home. I don't remember if I had a circle already laying out, and that's why I had to weld this tab on, but for future reference, or if you ever build your own clamp like this, you could cut this all one piece. You wouldn't have to see. I cut a circle here and then I welded this plate onto it. But anyway, cut the circle to slide over my 2 3/8 pipe, and it does have quite a bit of slop here. You wouldn't have to have that much slop. A little bit tighter would work a little bit better, but since this pipe come off of some of this fence we have here at our place, it's been painted, and I'm not sure if that's why it sometimes wouldn't grab. But either way, if it does grab, or if it does want to slide while you're using this clamp, you can always take, and I did this to the piece that was my original clamp that I built that was twice as long. I took a zip disc and I just put some grooves, I don't know, 4 or 5 grooves in here, and that way whenever this was on here, it would have something to grab. So the whole idea is for this to catch while you're tightening this, and obviously you can adjust your clamp this whole distance. And the neat thing about this little, essentially my clamp is essentially these two things and any length of pipe with holes cut in it. This is just something that I threw together. I literally improvised that day. This could totally be modified. Feel free to share comments in the comment section of this video. Those of you that have been welding for a long time and you've got a homemade clamp, you might have something cleaner, you know, on one end or what have you. I love hearing other people's ideas. And for those of you that don't know about the comment section in these YouTube videos, check out the comments. There's a lot of people that watch this channel and they share tons of helpful information. I learned so much from reading the comments. We greatly appreciate anyone who leaves a comment. But yeah, definitely check out the comments for other people's ideas that they've come up with homemade tools. So I just wanted to show you guys that and kind of touch on the importance of improvising and using what you have in your situation to get going in your welding business, you know, to save money, but also be creative whenever you're out and about and you don't have things. Be creative and think of ways to get the job done, you know. I went out and fixed a trailer. I guess you could call it it was one of them trailers that hauls them wind turbines parts or whatever. So I keep wanting to call it a low boy, but it's because it's kind of built like a low boy. It sits real low to the ground. But they've got these big airbags on each one of the axles, and one of their airbags mounts had broke. I told the guy to send me some pictures on my way there, because anytime I do a service call like that, or like I call it a service call, like a last minute repair job, especially on the side of the road, this guy was in a bind and he needed to get going as quick as possible. So I told him to send me pictures, but for him to get a picture, he had to get real close. And the airbag mount was about 12 inches in diameter, about a 1/4 inch thick plate, and it was bent up like it had been fixed before, but they had just done an even quicker fix than what I did. And so they just heated up and bended it back down, and it wasn't welded the greatest, to make a long story short, so it had broke again. Well, since that 12-inch circle was broke and bent up and the gussets underneath, the picture that he took gave me the impression that a totally different impression than what I saw. And all I'm getting at is what I threw on my truck is what I had here at the house, which was a 1/2 inch by 6 inch piece of flat, about 4 or 5 foot long. The picture appeared like it was like 3 or 4 different gussets. You know, I never imagined, what I'm getting at is I improvised. I never would have imagined that I needed a 12-inch wide circle because of the picture I had. It was too close, and I didn't have, looking back, I could have told the guy to take a picture of another airbag mount. That way I would have had an idea of how big a plate I would have needed. But since I didn't have that and I showed up with what I had, I took my 6-inch flat and I just cut 2 pieces 12-inch long and I welded them together to make a 12-inch 12 by 12 square, and then I cut it into a circle. So I improvise. Part of being a welder or a craftsman is just improvising and using what you have. Now there is a time and a place, in my opinion. Those of you that have been welding for a while, you know that there's a time and a place for improvising, and there's a time and a place where you want to take the time to do it right. If you're not in a rush situation, take the time, stop, come back the next day, order the parts you need, order the material you need. You know, I talk about situation dependent a lot, so it just depends on the situation. But I just wanted to share this little homemade tool with those of you that have been kind of interested in seeing some homemade tools that I have around. I'll try to share some more homemade tools that I find from time to time. I don't use these things a lot, so I don't think about talking about them. But when I do come across them, I'll try to make a video about them in hopes to save you money and time, and to help you be creative and improvise to help you go further faster in your welding business, or whatever you may be using the welding trade for. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out our website, arosswelding.com, for more helpful resources or any tools that you may be interested in, the circle burner, soapstone, or anything else you may see me use in these videos. If you are interested in the circle burner and you're not familiar with this torch setup that you may need, we do not carry this straight attachment, but there on the website you should find some part numbers. Underneath the circle burner description, you should find part numbers for the straight attachments, for the small, which is what this is, and the large circle burner. Or you can text the word torch to 405-643-7176, and I will text you a list of the same part numbers that are on the website for the attachments that you'll need for the circle burner. You can also text that number if you have any questions. That's the best way to reach Kayla or myself. Again, thanks for your support. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Stay cool, drink plenty of coffee, and remember, learn something every day.